Hello, let's talk about head drawing today. And there are, I believe, some things being most beginners learn today about head drawing that after a while they realize is not really important. So I'm going to show you some important things you need to know when drawing the head and things to consider. Now, first things first, most of the time when beginners start, like when I started, most things we saw were methods, methods of drawing head. My advice to you is to disregard most of those things because the methods most individuals introduce are limited or limiting rather than push you out there and maybe give you a process. And if you are subscribed to our channel, if you have heard me talk most of the time, I always talk about process rather than style or method. So most of the time methods people give beginner students end up creating a style, and unfortunately these methods they limit individuals. So if you're an artist, rather than go with method, I prefer you go with process. And the process we are talking about should highly be influenced by fundamental uh, tools, fundamental ideas, rather than just one particular method. If you want to draw the head, do it this way. If you want to um, Riley method, Loomis method. If you've learned that, my advice to you is to kind of quickly shift from it, because after a while, especially if you are going into animation or you are going into other stuff, painting, it becomes a really difficult thing. You have to map out some strong details, which I already said result in a style, and then it kind of becomes a headache, manual labor for the stuff you do. Now, if I was learning how to draw the head again, these are things I'll tell you to consider. Number one, shape. Um, Most of the time we give praise to forms a lot, but shapes are very, very important. They play a strong, important role in what we paint. Because, for example, so I have some photos here I got from one of my tools, handy tool. It's an application. You can change it's 3D. You can change the characters and take pictures and stuff like that. So one thing I say shape, because and one thing with shape, no matter the point, we are drawing from, just a quick drawing. But no matter the point we are drawing from, shape still applies. So that is one of the things we get from following something like shape. And this proportion still stands. So this is one beauty of shape. If we are drawing the head from one particular angle, it works. Now also, Not only that, if we are also drawing the head from a different angle, look at the white outline around the character. It shows us that shapes still play a key point in head drawing. If you look at John Singer Sargent's sketches, you notice he always strengthen. Let's say he's drawing a character. Let's say the same way we are drawing this same character we are seeing here, and let's just quickly simplify it down and push out the jaw. Feel her brows here, and we kind of feel the turning of the form. Yeah, let me open this up a little bit. So feel the head turning here. One thing, if you look at Sargent's sketches, when he sketched some characters, he was preparing for a painting, you see him strengthening these sides. Strengthen the side he's about to paint like this, because he knew shapes were very, very important. So, and this shape we're talking about applies to everything. So shapes, proportion, and what you want to do is to start practicing these things early on. When you focus on methods like the Riley method, the Loomis method, or whichever method out there, the problem you start getting is you start focusing on details. The last painting we did, I think I still have them here. If you remember, we made this painting. This was a painting we created. Now, some individuals, when they are creating this painting, might go with the Loomis method or the Riley method. But this was the sketch we used for that. The painting you're seeing there. This is the reference for the painting, and this is the sketch, the first sketch. Imagine that this is the sketch for that painting. So that's why I appeal to you, if you are a beginner and if you are just starting head drawing, don't focus on these methods. You might come with the method and you draw something like this, and what you'll be telling yourself is, oh, it's wrong, because you are focusing on the wrong things. But if I've mapped out something like this, just this quick sketch, and I know, number one, I know my shapes are there, I know proportion is there, it's far more easier to get likeness. I always say, when you want to get likeness, you don't focus on anything but measurement, and we can measure with paint. And sometimes I paint without the need of a sketch underneath. I just go immediately with the paint, and it still come out beautifully. You still get the likeness. Why is that? Because of measurement. So don't be distracted with those little details you see. Focus more on these shapes and proportion. Very, very important. If you are focusing on likeness and details, you end up messing up your painting. So I hope you learned something from this. But let me quickly make like a demo so you understand what I'm talking about even more. So let's look at our painting. This quick sketch we are going to do. Fill that form. See the eyes there. And if you have eraser, if you think you made a mistake, you can erase them. Erase. We have erasers there because of mistake. Making mistakes is part of the whole process. Feel that neck pushing down. See that the back of the neck. Feel that slope, and it's also coming from this area too. But because of the perspective, you can't see it. It cuts here on the pecs. Feel that point. Push. Feel the throat muscle. Push down. Even if you look at Judge Bridgman also, you see the same thing we are talking about. Bridgman is not telling you if you want to draw the head, you start from this crazy method. He will go with the shapes and with the form, the proportion, and push from there. You see that cut. You can also check out what's the name, Glenn Vilpo. When you get sophisticated teachers like that, they make it known to you. Even Steve Houston. I remember there was a video I saw of Steve Houston where he made that points, and he was intentional about it. All those methods are wrong. They just put you in a box and limit you. If you look at most of the painters, most of the artists rather that use those methods, most of the time, sometimes, they focus so much on the details that they find it difficult to paint some certain areas because of some challenges. We in animation, when we animate, you see, when we're animating, we start sometimes with a circle for the head or a box. If you've seen me animate, I do this a lot because I'm not trying to fixate anything. Maybe I'm looking at the character and seeing the basic shape of the head, or I'm just trying to get a placeholder rather than to just limit myself. So we can't animate and start saying we must use the Loomis method. We just simplify it, direction and stuff like that. So very, very important. So let's continue with the sketch. Fill the ears. I'm just going to push this hair out, and this is the beauty of art. You can refine what you do. See that keystone, the nose, and the nose pushes down. The nose is lengthy. So you can see as I'm coming back on that point, I'm redefining those points. The first was just quick put down just to get the point I needed. But now you see I'm coming back in and I'm redefining the edges, filling the points and making sure rendering the whole thing correctly. Fill the lips. And see, when we even started, I did not base much on proportion. And when you are doing it for a long time, you can easily mark things out. Fill the ears. Push. And as I'm drawing, it still feels like I'm painting. And then the eyes. The eyes is hidden underneath. The brows is here. So if I want to continue pushing the art now, what do you see me do now is to start refining the whole thing. We can calm down, and this is the same way I paint. Let me reduce this opacity. We can calm down. And start pushing things down. For example, you can see the size here compared to this point, and look at our size and look who ours don't create this. So you can start seeing things to change and start shifting, and that is the beauty. This is the, as I always say, this is the part we are meant to enjoy. This is the part for us as artists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this inker. This is one of my favorite pen, and then we are going to start making that change. Fill the nose, push, because I was having issues with the other pen. It was not creating marks very well. Remember what we said, we want to push it in. I'm going to push this out also. Feel the brows come out in this area. Everything still stands as the way. I want to make sure feel the other eyes also. I'm still looking at that shape. I'm still looking at the shape. Feeling the other eye. Understand, we're not going for likeness. If we're going for likeness, then I prefer to do that when I'm painting rather than for something like this, just a sketch. Do that. Do this also. Still point can come in under here. So that is that. I hope you learned something from this. Always focus on the shapes. The shapes are far more important than most things in the drawing. Shapes, proportion. So always focus on those things. I'm just going to map out the light of the character. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you learned something from this quick lesson. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and like and subscribe if you want to see more of this. We have some other videos where it's just discussion, and thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.